What is going on, my beautiful people, man? Hope you guys are doing amazing today, man. In this video, we're about to get into a video where we are going to talk about the beauty of being able to do this visualization practice, where you're basically changing at the end of your day what you want to change. Now, what the power of this is, very powerful, but basically, it's something I learned from this book called Inner Excellence, and he talks about being able to change in your mind into the things that you want to change at the end of your night to allow your subconscious to let go, but also to get you ready for the next day in case that situation ever comes up, and to get you better prepared for the energy that you want to be in there, but actually how you're going to handle that thing too. And this is literally insane, and I want to share with you guys how this has worked for me and how it can work for you. So for myself, I've been doing this pretty much every night for about like 2 weeks now. And I've realized at the end of our nights, there's things that we're holding on to, like, oh, we had something happen here. Sometimes it's an awkward moment. Sometimes there's a moment where you get really emotionally riled up and you wish you wouldn't have reacted like that, or you wish you wouldn't have done it that exact way, whatever it might be. Or sometimes you just have something that kind of like you were super tired in the morning and you didn't get up, whatever it might be for you. And you wish you would have changed that, but you don't consciously a lot of the times realize that you wish you would have changed that. And you go to bed worrying about stuff, anxious, negative, and it just is holding on to all that in the back of your mind. And it kind of it's just going to explode eventually. But what we're trying to do is give our mind the ability to let that go and to actually get into a better energy state. Now, for me, the way that I really like to do this is getting into the best energy state possible. For me, getting into the presence of God is such a beautiful thing. So I love, if I'm not reacting in that way to certain things, getting into the energy of God, that's a lot of times what I like to change at the end of my days. Because it's like, okay, I realized at that moment I didn't react in the way that I would have perfectly liked to, but in your visualization, you can start changing it to the place where your mind starts to be like, oh, that's how we were supposed to react. Okay, next time I got you on that. So I'll give you an example here. This other day, I was kind of just chilling, and then, somebody, I'm not going to name names here, but somebody came up in my vicinity, and that person at the time, there was kind of like a little bit of, I don't even gotta explain it. You guys know. There's just a little bit of something there, and I'm like, ooh, you feel a little bit uncomfortable, and you're like, ooh, maybe you're not on the best terms with that person. I don't know how to say it. It's not even a terrible thing. Sometimes it's the smallest little thing there, and you don't even realize it until you start picking it up. But yeah, it was just a small little thing, and I was like feeling a little certain way. But that was me. That was my fault, because I was like getting myself, I want to be in the loving of everybody, and I wasn't able to do that at the moment. And you start feeling yourself feeling that, and that feeling came as a result of me not necessarily being the most loving at that moment. And at the time, I didn't really notice that. But then when I sat at the end of my night and I visualized it, and I was like, okay, what would I wanted to change about this day? I thought about that moment, and I was like, I would have liked to be more loving in that moment. And I remembered a verse that Jesus had said to his disciples before he went away. He basically said, for my last commandment to you is that you love others the way that I have loved you. And for me, that was like, oh shoot, I didn't really do that in that moment. So I was like, I wish I would have changed that. So what you're basically doing is you're imagining yourself in that feeling, like visually in your mind. You could be in the bathtub, you could be whatever. Visualize yourself in that feeling that you were in that moment. Step out of your body, shake off those negative feelings. And what we're going to do is get into a better energy state. What is the best energy that you want to have in that moment? And then also have one little change that you wish you would have done. So in that moment, I got out of my body. I'm visualizing, this is me visualizing it in my head. I got out of my body, shake off the negative emotions that I was like feeling, a little gripe, whatever it might be. And then getting into the best energy place that I can get to, which for me was that verse, love others how I've loved you, pretty much instantly got me into that. And it got me smiling like, dang, like I just love people. I want to love people. God is so forgiving of me. I want to love people that same way. Getting into that energy state, stepping back into my body. And then from that, you're encapsulating that into that energy. And also thinking about, okay, what was the one change that I wanted to do? And for me, from that energy, it's a lot easier to just be like, love that person, just like to go talk to that person, whatever. It's a lot easier to do that. And that would have been the one change I would have liked in that moment, and to respond to them in a loving way. And from that, I was like, boom, so simple. And I could let that go for the night. And then the next morning, when that person came back around, I remembered that. And it felt like the subconscious remembers that. And I go into that situation and it's a completely different energy. That same thing that I had visualized was basically happening. It was like there. That's incredible. And it's actually able to change it and help you get into that energy state. And that's how it's going to continue to change your life completely. The more that you do that and getting yourself into the best energy state possible that you want to get into and getting your mind wired for that. So it can change your life completely. Just doing this once a day or twice a day at the end of your nights or at the beginning of your days, man, whatever it might be, continuing to do that will change the way that your subconscious is wired and getting yourself into the best place in energy and vibration, whatever you want to call it. I love to call it God's presence, the best place in God's presence that you want to be every single day. Love you guys very much, man. I'll talk to y'all in the next video. Peace.